stage, y'all. What y'all think? Well, please welcome back to the stage the directors Filipe and Marcio and actor Ivo Muller. Welcome back, guys, and thank you so much for bringing this fabulous film to the festival and for being here and creating an incredible experience for all of us. So I want to kick things off with the two of you. In terms of the storytelling and the script, what was the inspiration for this film?
Yeah, we wanted to do a film about queer people dodging bullets and venturing the nights looking for sex. And being in danger, but also killing, and being horny and excited, in the hopes that the audience would feel in danger and horny and excited.
Did it work?
Yeah, and just to add one more thing, like since Heart Paint, I would say that's our previous film that was screened here at the Frame Line as well in 2018, we have addressed this idea of performance, but always in a different way, and especially the idea of social performance, something that's very dear for us. So then we realized, okay, we could have these two characters that they have to be actors in a way, in different fields, one an actual actor and another a politician. That's also a very specific way of performance and acting. And they had to have these double lives. And this is something that for us was very, very fun to think about, that also resonates in the form, the way that we would create the mise-en-scène and so on. And also like I think also the genre thing, it's something very important for us, like this, playing with more in this thriller and erotic and this kind of cinema that we really adore.
And when we were talking backstage, the two of you were telling us that you work so incredibly close together and throughout the entire process. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, Filipe and I have been working together for, I don't know, 17 years it's going to be now. And we met in film school and started working and dating at the same time, so we don't know dating without working and working without dating, so it's just one big messy thing. And but it works well for us. It's very organic, and I think like we kind of like always create, like have ideas based on the other one's ideas, and so we kind of like just go adding up, and we don't split tasks. We try to do always everything together, and then we start to, of course, when more people start joining the team, we start expanding this collaborative spirit and try to have processes as horizontal as possible with the team and with the cast as well.
Yeah, like we have also a background as actors. Marcio acting, like, retired, but and I think this really affected the way that it kind of like shaped the way that we wanted to make cinema, to turn into a little bit closer to theater, that we can have more longer process and we can have more horizontal, as Marcio was saying, sharing a lot, talking a lot.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, Ivo, I want to come to you because you played the role of Camilo and you were a fantastic villain. So can you talk a little bit about, I guess, kind of your process in playing the role and kind of what was his perspective? What was Camilo's perspective on everything going on and kind of how he saw things and what he felt like he needed to do? How did you bring that to life?
Well, first, this was a very collaborative work in a way that we worked together. You know, the three of us and the other members of this cast. We had a week before we started shooting. I mean, even before, we had like Zoom sessions and talked about the script, and in a way that I started to create the character based on our conversations. And then we had these rehearsals in the week before we started shooting, working a lot with movement. We had a movement coach for the fight scenes, which was also trying to discover the bodies of the characters, you know, with them. And since they have acting experience, they really like to work with actors. So it's the delicious process to work with these guys, because it's very close, and they really direct us. Because some directors kind of don't like actors or are afraid of actors, you know, but that's not the case. These guys love directing actors. So I tried to approach Camilo in a way that he wasn't a villain. He was a guy who needed to do a job, and, you know, trying to find the reasons why he needed to do those kinds of things, you know, the dirty work sometimes, you know, because the so-called villains, they can't be just villains, because if they're just villains, they're not humans, you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, just to add something that I want to congratulate Ivo also, because he's the kind of actor also who does his homework. This is something very nice. I remember of us like talking a lot about some cinematic reference, and he was watching all of them, and then we had like a lot of discussions afterwards. So this was something very nice to think and to work together.
Yeah, that was also something very nice about this process, because they gave us lots of references, and it's amazing when you have the chance like to do this kind of homework, watching great films, you know. And I also have to mention the other actors, you know, Gabriel, Henrique, Cirilo, you know, we were like a kind of a small theater company for those, 6 weeks that we filmed, you know. We got along really well, and we found all the characters through the other characters, through their relations with the other characters, and through looking through each other's eyes, you know. And it's very nice when you have the chance to work with actors that are open to discover your character through the other character's eyes. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And when you when you're talking about the team building, will you tell the audience about Basic Instinct?
Yeah, no, it's funny because like we wanted to do a homage to these erotic thrillers from the 80s, 90s, and like Brian De Palma, Paul Verhoeven, and we always like watch films with our cast, and we always pick one specific film to be the last film that we're gonna watch with the main actors before we start shooting. And for this film, it was Basic Instinct. And it's a film that was shot here in San Francisco, so it's just magical that we're having the opportunity to do the American premiere here. And we're actually planning on tomorrow doing like a Basic Instinct tour and go to where they shot the main scenes and kind of like redoing the scenes for photos, you know, like, so maybe whoever wants to join.
Okay, so were there any significant challenges or surprises that came up during the process, whether it was the filming or post-production, anything along those lines that you can speak to?
Yeah, I think something that we found out during specifically this process is that the process turned into the films that we're making, and the films are the process itself. So like with our previous film, it was a very melancholic, claustrophobic film, and we spent like a month, like the whole crew inside an apartment, like being like feeling claustrophobic and like sad and so on. And with this film, it was so funny because then we were in public spaces, shooting a lot of sex scenes, and like, you know, like, so that we were the characters, we were the film.
Trying not to be seen by the neighborhood, so we kind of like raised this kind of like big barrier, so like the neighborhood would not see us. However, like they might. And
and even Marcio and I, we joined like some.
Yes, the cruising scene, we needed some extras, so Filipe and I were like, okay, let's just be there behind the bushes, like doing some. So
and it was in a Saturday, like afternoon in the park, so we could listen, like hear like people walking, like, oh my God, what we're doing in their lives, and I think this was one of the most interesting and particular things about the process. I don't think we're gonna repeat that much. Maybe I don't know.
it was fun.
It's like truth is stranger than fiction sometimes. I guess last question. Did you end up? There's always like things that have to get cut during the editing process? Anything like that? Specifically, any sex scenes or anything like that that we missed out on? I don't know.
I think there's something interesting about this that we didn't shoot this, but what happened is throughout the process of writing, the ending of the film was very different. At the beginning, Matthias would go back to his hometown, and Camille would go after him, and would have like a fight, and Matthias' mother would intervene. It would like have like it was a very different ending. And then we find out actually no, like it's not the family the answer, actually it's the desire that's the answer, and then we decide to change that. So
Let's just end with them jerking off, like.
yeah, I actual happy ending, so that's it. And for us this was something that we could see, like we changed that, and this was something very important politically also speaking, because for us we're living in such a repressed moment. Related to many topics, but desire is something very important, and we shouldn't like forget or compromise our desires. Desire is something that always shaped our community and can confront like conservative behavior and so on. So,
Yeah. We wanted this film to be like the triumph of desire, you know, like we love the ending because it was too an absurd, like one just killed someone by joking, the other one has a gunshot in the leg. But it's like, no, okay, we're gonna finish what we came here to do, and we're not leaving, so yeah.
Okay, right before we wrap up, I know you sort of said before the film started kind of what's next, but can you just remind us what's next for the film?
yeah, well, the film premiered this year at the Berlin Film Festival, and then this is the premiere in North America. We're having more festivals in the US, but we cannot share it yet. It's like unfortunately. But then will be released here in North America by the
Theatrically,
yeah.
so it will be released likely, I would guess, I don't know if Mike is sure, but it's not, but I'm guessing it's probably like January or something.
Yes, that's the idea. But then also we were having like a tour in like Europe, and we didn't show yet in Brazil. I'm very excited about it. So I can see like how people will react that. I hope like it will be fun again. Well, yeah.
Well, thank you, all three of you, so much for sharing your talents with us and for being part of Frame Line 49, and thank you all for enjoying the film.